on these sets, always there's a lot of work you have to do on your own, because I come from a theater background where there's a whole bunch of rehearsals, but that just doesn't happen here. You just have to come ready. And so, not having a lot of framework for the character, not knowing even what we're seeing. They didn't tell us what we would be seeing on the bridge. We just knew there was a big glass bridge. We have to make a lot of guesswork, and that gets made up for on the set with interactions with the directors and stuff. But you have to read a lot into the lyrics, excuse me, the dialogue. So for me, it started with the quote my character talks about. He sees the model, the glass bridge model, and then they show the real one. And my line was, "Wow, it's bigger." And I was like, that seems like a mistranslation. Maybe he means, "I can't believe how big it is." Yeah. And they're like, no, you're actually surprised that the real bridge is bigger than the model. And I was like, oh, okay. So I guess, yeah. And that was the part where for me it clicked. I'm like, oh, he wants comedic, right? He wants humor. And so, yeah, it was a very broad, flat. And so I just treated it more like a trust fund douchebag ready for, just treating human misery and death almost like a cartoon.
Right.
He's got that same level of intellect if he doesn't realize that the real bridge is going to be bigger than the model. So, yeah, and then from there it was fun. Like the director asked for a lot of different ad libs. And
oh, really? What sort of things were ad libbed?
Like he wanted, when the dude was going to go take the waiter for some private fun, he was like, what can you say to him to make a funny little sex joke? And I was like, okay, bon appetit, hit the bone really hard, and he's like, perfect. So
I like it.
Yeah, it just turned into, we were like clowns essentially, I think, like malevolent clowns.
Right. Now there's already talk of like a season 2. Like people are already talking about a season 2. Do you know if you VIPs would get to be VIPs in the next Squid Game?
That would be awesome. I think they're almost certainly going to do a number 2, season 2, because of the numbers. It would be kind of silly if they didn't. And I know that when we were filming it, there was a scene we filmed that they didn't include, which was us after the conclusion of the Squid Game. When we turned around, we discussed who bet on the winner. And my line was, I can't wait for next year. So it felt like a very clear attempt to lead into a season 2. So I'm pretty sure they're going to do one. Whether they bring us back or not, I don't know. But, of course, fingers crossed.
There's theories online that potentially Squid Game might be an international thing and different countries have their own Squid Game. What do you think of that theory?
Oh, you mean like in story, or like different countries are going to start doing their own version of the show?
In story, like America's got their own Squid Game. Australia's got their own.
It lends itself to a lot of different ways they could take it, a lot of different, because I don't know, are the kids games in Australia? I mean, you must have a lot of different ones that weren't in Squid Game, right?
Exactly.
Did you think of ways of turning them into lethal exercises?
You could see it. You could see it as a template to.
Kids nearly kill themselves all the time playing games, right? So.
And you'd obviously love to be in season 2.
Oh, of course. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah. Just as a VIP, not as one of the,
Well, no. I mean, I would love a chance to stretch my wings. I would love to see the VIPs thrust into one of the life or death games. That would be.
You'd be one of the numbers.
Yeah, sure. Hell yeah.
Oh, that'd be dope. Yeah. Another one of the theories is that the old man and the lead character were father and son. There are all these Easter eggs in there. People are guessing they're father and son.
Yeah. The director had a very meticulous vision. That's why, there's so many different things laid out throughout from what I've read. I mean, I didn't even know at the time.
Did the director tell you who you guys were as characters, sort of going, because there's very little told to us about the VIPs and who they are and why they're there. They're just kind of there. Have you any indication of who you guys were?
Yeah, no, he gave us a little bit of background information. I'm not sure if I should say any of it since it didn't appear in show. I don't know how much is secret or how much is even going to be carried over into season 2. I do know that when we were doing one of the ad libs and he was like, what can you say to this guy after he makes his 69 joke for the 12th time? Right. I was like, can I distance myself from him? Can I say do you know this guy? Do we all know each other or do I not know him? He's like, no. Only you and VIP 1 know each other. So that's the most information he gave us information, but that's the most I felt comfortable sharing because you can kind of suss that out from the ad lib. How do you know this guy? John, VIP 1 says, I didn't bring him, did you? So.
Right.
But there are like I know he has a backstory for us in his mind because he was kind of relaying it to us when we were acting, but there wasn't a lot of detail that we got.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, the VIPs is such a like an interesting, theme in that we're all kind of VIPs sitting at home watching it and enjoying it. That's
Yeah.
there's
Yeah, I saw a theory. Someone was like, I think that represents the Netflix audience enjoying it while also, yeah.